Good Friday morning. Thanks for joining us here on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Alicia Lewis. If you're just joining us right now, we are under a KARE 11 weather impact alert for a storm bringing rain and snow over the next 24 hours. Our weather team issues these alerts when the weather can impact your plans, like today. So you may want to give yourself a little extra time on the roads this morning and afternoon, as they could be slick. We're going to be checking in with our weather team in just a little bit. Well, just in this morning, 3 people are in custody right now connected to one of 3 shootings that happened last night in Minneapolis in the span of 20 minutes. Investigators believe the 3 people were involved in the shooting near the Minneapolis Parks Board headquarters. That scene is near the top of your screen right now. Another man and woman were also shot in 2 other locations. Both are expected to survive. They say they do not believe the shootings are related. Developing this morning, Minnesota is joining 23 other states in suing the Trump administration over new 10% global tariffs. New York, California, Oregon, and Arizona are leading the lawsuit. They're asking the court to declare the tariffs illegal and prevent them from being implemented. This comes after the Supreme Court ruled last month against President Trump's attempt to impose sweeping tariffs on countries around the world. This morning, Israel launching a new round of strikes overnight on Iranian and Hezbollah targets. It comes with a new warning from President Trump as well. Our Audrey Russo is at the live desk with the latest.
Yeah, we're seeing new video from Tehran overnight, the result of airstrikes on the Iranian capital. You can see destroyed cars, debris in the streets. Iran's Red Crescent Society says more than 3,000 homes have been damaged since Operation Epic Fury began. But perhaps the biggest hit in the last 12 hours happened at sea. In this new video released by the U.S. military, American forces struck another Iranian naval ship, the second one this week. Now, this was an Iranian drone carrier. Defense officials at this press briefing yesterday say that Iran's drone attacks have decreased by 83% since Operation Epic Fury began. Meantime, on Capitol Hill, this is video of House Democrats failing to pass the War Powers Resolution. Now, that would have imposed checks on President Trump's ability to conduct further attacks on Iran. It's a measure Republicans say wasn't necessary.
We are not at war. We have no intention of being at war. The President and the Department of Defense have made this very clear. The Department of War has made it very clear.
Now, lawmakers are reportedly waiting on a formal request from the Pentagon for $50 billion in supplemental funding, emergency cash that would support operations in Iran, and that request could come as soon as today. Back to you.
Meanwhile, today, dozens of local artists will join Celtic punk band Dropkick Murphys for a fundraising show in Minneapolis honoring Alex Preddy. The concert, called Abolish ICE, a fundraiser for the people, is happening from 1 to 8 p.m. near the Alex Preddy Memorial. The show will raise money for several local organizations, including Show Up for Eat Street and the Immigrant Law Center of Minnesota. Meantime, we're following a major shakeup within the Trump administration. The president firing Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and naming Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin as her replacement, though he still needs Senate approval. The move to fire Noem caps a very tense and controversial year for the president's immigration agenda. Alice Barr is in D.C. with details.
Hi there. The changeover doesn't happen until the end of the month. It comes as the Trump administration has seen its poll numbers drop over the mass deportation strategy Secretary Noem oversaw. And now she's the first cabinet member to be ousted in the president's second term. This morning, Washington and the nation reacting to President Trump firing Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem following a string of controversies as she led the administration's immigration crackdown.
She has completely destroyed the high ground that Republicans had.
I am so happy that one of the worst administrative leaders I've ever seen is gone, but the agency itself is still reckless and out of control.
The Department of Homeland Security right now operating in a shutdown, with Democrats pushing to overhaul ICE and Border Patrol. President Trump praised Noem's work sealing the border, while a White House official pointed to mounting frustrations behind the scenes, culminating in a Capitol Hill grilling this week over a $220 million border security ad campaign that featured Noem prominently.
Did the president know you were going to do this?
Yes.
He did?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
In a new phone interview with NBC News, President Trump said of the ad campaign, quote, "I wasn't thrilled with it. I spent less money than that to become president. I didn't know about it." Noem was also widely criticized over her handling of the deadly Minneapolis shootings by federal immigration officers and her initial comments accusing Alex Preddy of domestic terrorism, despite video contradicting that. President Trump tapping Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin as the new DHS head.
There's an opportunity to build off successes, and there's also opportunities to build off things that maybe didn't go quite as planned. So.
Mullin will need Senate confirmation and is promising to reach across the aisle. For her part, Secretary Noem said she'd made historic accomplishments securing the border and thanked President Trump for moving her to a newly created role as special envoy for the Shield of the Americas that she said would focus on going after cartels in the Western Hemisphere. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
In Chicago this morning, thousands are getting ready to honor the life and legacy of the late Reverend Jesse Jackson. Jackson passed away last month at 84 years old. Organizers say today's homegoing service is a chance for everyone to honor the civil rights activist in his time in Chicago, fighting for equal rights and social equity. 3 former presidents will speak at the memorial: Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden. Jackson family says singers Jennifer Hudson and Stevie Wonder will perform. The service starts at 11 this morning. Today, the second person convicted for abusing multiple babies at the Small World Daycare Center in Blaine back in 2024 will be sentenced. Chloe Johnson, on the left there, took a plea deal in order to spend 30 days in jail instead of 5 years. She'll also be on probation and never work at daycares again. Her co-defendant, Elizabeth Weimerslage, was sentenced to 90 days last May. Representative Nolan West believes his daughter was also abused at that daycare, but the surveillance video wasn't kept on file. He's now pushing for Harvey's Law in honor of an 11-month-old killed at a Savage daycare last fall, requiring that daycares receive state funding, have to have cameras, and store footage longer. Happening today, a line of healthcare workers will announce whether they're going to go on strike or not. The Doctors Council Union says they're still trying to negotiate their first contract with Allina after hundreds of employees unionized more than 2 years ago. They're fighting for better staffing, benefits, and safer working conditions. Well, spring break travel is starting to ramp up at MSP, and today could be one of their busiest days. TSA officials say between now and April 6th, they expect to screen more than 46,000 passengers on Fridays and Sundays alone. Right now at MSP, we're seeing about 8 canceled flights and 3 delays. And with travel picking up across the country, federal officials say they're looking at new ways to manage crowds at one of the country's busiest airports, O'Hare International in Chicago. Officials there say they published airline schedules, show more than 3,000 daily takeoffs and landings are expected on peak days. That's 600 more than last year. Right now, the FAA wants to cap the number of flights to 2,800 to reduce overscheduling and busy crowds. The move, though, is getting some mixed reactions from travelers.
The ticket prices might go up because there's less available.
Safety should be the number one issue to be considered. Can O'Hare handle so many flights?
In a statement, the Chicago Department of Aviation said it's looking forward to working with the FAA to make temporary adjustments to their summer schedules. Well, it's going to be a busy weekend in St. Paul for the boys state hockey tournament at the Grand Casino Arena. And if you're going to head out there, you're going to also want to check out the River Center. Megan McPherson has everything we need to know about the Let's Play Hockey Expo.
Yeah, quiet here now, but certainly not going to be the case in just a few hours here. The Let's Play Hockey Expo, this is the world's largest consumer hockey show, which to me is just amazing. Having just moved to Minnesota here in just the last couple of months, I mean, this is just awesome. And I know it's only going to get busier. So joining us this morning, Tracy Perlman with the River Center. She's going to tell us all about just how busy it's going to get. Tracy, It's going to be, a hot weekend here in St. Paul.
This is the busiest month of the year for the city of St. Paul. They're expecting almost 1 million visitors this month. This is obviously the biggest weekend of them all with the boys hockey tournament and the Let's Play Hockey Expo.
Yeah, and of course we know there's so much buzz around hockey, of course, locally with the high school tournament this weekend, but of course nationally too, just coming off the Olympics with both our men's and women's teams winning gold. So you're of course probably hoping that that's going to feed too into how many people you get here this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. There has been, yesterday Minnetonka was wearing the red, white, and blue. They were all USA'd out. We do have 8 wild hockey games coming up this month, 4 Frost, and a roller derby bout, if you would prefer to see some action on wheels.
Yes.
So yeah,
fun.
Lots of action happening, but obviously this is the crown jewel. This is our, Christmas in March.
Yeah.
Is the expo and the tournament.
Yes, and we're right where we're standing right now. We're going to talk about this a little bit throughout the show. This is like a kind of a I would consider like a hockey simulator almost. This is an easy ice rink.
Backyard rink, yeah. So, or a basement rink. If you have the space in your garage or basement, you can put the fake ice in. We have to be a little careful. It's a little slippery.
It is a little slick.
Out here. But yeah, they've got lots of activities like this for people. So it's $5 for adults.
Okay.
Students or anyone 18 and under are free to come. They've got a ton of gear, all the latest and greatest technology when it comes to hockey. Skate sharpeners, sticks, pads, hats, ton of sweatshirts. If you want the best swag, you can come and get that here. They even have an area that has a locker if you want to build like a hockey locker for your bedroom or something, a mud room.
Truly everything that a hockey family in Minnesota needs. So you can get it all here this weekend. Opens at 10 a.m.
Opens at 10 a.m. Yep. And then they'll start skating next door for day 2 of day 3 of the tournament.
Yes, so much excitement here, Tracy. Thanks for joining us this morning. And it's free for kids 18 and under this weekend. So definitely a lot going on here. No shortage of things to do here at the River Center this weekend.
Going to be a fun weekend. Hey, stick with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.